If I put my crosshair over this guy and shoot, I've hit him with the rocket, but did I really hit him? As it turns out, every rocket and a few other projectiles are aim assisted. If I shoot, then teleport them away, we can see that the rocket takes a very unusual path. It veered off in its own direction. So, what's going on here? When you left click to fire a rocket, the game checks to see if underneath your crosshair, there is a valid target between 200 and 2000 units away from you. If there is, then the rocket's angle is set to point towards the first object found. Otherwise, if there is something closer than 200 units, or nothing was found between 200 and 2000 units, then the rocket defaults to aiming at the point 2000 units away from your player along your crosshair's path. In this context, a valid target is whatever your player entity can collide with. This means that friendly players won't affect your aim, but enemy players and map geometry would trigger the aim assist. In the example where I teleport a player, the angle of rockets when there isn't a player nearby is consistently and clearly different to when there is a player nearby. If you fire around the side of a wall, your rockets would consistently slip through until you pass the 200 unit mark where they suddenly explode at your crosshair. The aim assist becomes obvious when you step back and forth along the 200 unit boundary. But the check for a target under your crosshair happens the instant you left click, and it only matters that there is a valid target the moment the check happens. So if a player was running by, the aim assist would still alter the angle your rocket fires at. The same thing would happen if there was map geometry that moved, or if it was a payload cart. But what about getting hit by a pipe? That's you colliding with it, right? So could a pipe flying across your screen theoretically mess up your rocket? Not every projectile triggers the aim assist, but here are all the ones that do. Since you can't collide with friendly projectiles, this only applies to projectiles fired by the enemy and not ones fired by your teammates. Of course, projectiles have really small collision boxes, and they also move very quickly, so in practice, this would almost never happen. But this means that it's technically possible to miss at no fault of your own, because a stray projectile flew by your crosshair. For the sake of demonstration, I used rockets in every test, but there are 3 other projectiles that have aim assist and have the same problems. All of the Pyro's flare guns, the medic's crossbow, and the engineer's rescue ranger. If aim assist is turned off through editing the code, it makes sense why it was added. Close to mid-range rockets are noticeably off from where your crosshair is. And for fun, aim assist always on.
Press your primary fire.
Things can fly out and come back.